Burgundy.
Well,
Burgundy.
oh, I feel very sticky.
What?
I have a fake tan on. I feel very sticky.
How long do you keep that on for?
Oh, just a few hours and then I'll go wash it off.
What time do you put it on?
Just after I had a shower. So about 10:30.
Yeah. Half the day was over by the time you...
I had a nice sleep in. I got no child.
I had a nice sleep in. I was like 7 o'clock. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, mine was like 9:30. I didn't think, because usually I don't sleep in that long. And I was like, I'll be up at like 8. And then I looked at the phone. I was like, fuck, it's like 9:30. Anyway.
Anywho.
Do you want to guess what number?
23. 7. 94. 800.
Bingo.
What?
No.
What's the question?
What number episode we're doing today?
I just heard you say what number. I was just picking numbers. I don't know. 70. 69.
Where? Today is
I knew it had to be something stupid.
Today is episode number 69. And I'm pretty sure I'm now on a list when I was looking up true crime cases, sexy, true crime cases, 69, murder 69. I'm already on some sort of list from all this research.
Yeah, you'd have to be. You would have to be.
The amount, like, because it's
sick shit you fucking Google, yeah.
But it's like I do this shit daily.
Yes.
So it's like, surely that picks up by now that there's a podcast.
No, they've just worked out you're
They're
a
like,
creep.
Oh, she's a
if you ever come up in a murder case, they're going to go, look at this bitch's history. She did it.
Look at her. It couldn't be as bad as fucking Melanie Maguire's. How to commit a murder. How to buy a gun illegally.
Who's Melanie McGuire? Oh, the one in the suitcase.
Yes. Look, you're remembering things.
Yesterday blew you away when I remembered some story. Was that the same story?
Yeah, well, no.
There was someone else that I remembered. The through the window. The girl in...
yes, Celeste
the local
Manor.
one.
They're doing I don't know if it's confirmed that they're doing a colonial inquest.
Into
yeah.
it. And I told you I watched that. The crash.
Look at you coming into the true crime community.
Mate.
Oh my God.
Well, I've got to admit, I only just watched that because of Josh Wolf.
Yeah.
When he did that thing, the comedy thing about, you don't interview parents and they look like they've just finished fucking
Netflix,
and they've thrown Netflixes at the door, throw your trackie on. That was hilarious. And then when you see them, you're like, yeah, they do look like they've just had sex. But some parts of that was, like, it was interesting to watch how they put together how calmly she drove around the bend from one thing, and then fucking how fast different speed cameras and where they were able to pick up what she was doing.
And what her car looked like afterwards.
Yeah, and someone said, she had a fit and because of
they
some
can medically test if you've had
some
fit.
medical thing, and they're like,
I haven't watched it yet.
If she has had a medical fit, she wouldn't have been accelerating. She would have lost all function of her body. There was a part where there was a bend, so there's no way known, even if the car was going straight ahead, that the car would have just followed the course of the road.
Wheel alignment's really off.
I think one of the saddest parts was one of the boys that died. The parents came to her hearing and sat with her mum and dad to support them for because they thought it was like, it's sad. They were all
it's a tragic
accident. All in the car.
Yeah.
She blah, blah, blah. And she had 1 million posts on Instagram of her doing mushrooms and doing weed, and that was in the car.
Her Instagram and TikTok are still up.
Oh, well, there you go.
You can still look at them.
Yeah, and that's what they're showing, all the different posts and whatever. But this poor family sat with the parents, and then they heard things at the court that they'd never heard before. They'd never seen the screenshot of the...
Shit.
Like some posh cars have like a black box, like a plane.
Oh, okay.
And it showed for the 5 seconds prior to smashing into the wall. Didn't stop accelerating. Was doing over 100 miles. Not Ks, 100 miles an hour.
Like nearly 200 kilometres.
Nearly 200 Ks.
Oh,
didn't brake at all. It just showed 100%. No braking, whatever. And the family was sitting, that was the first time they'd seen it. And they were sitting with her parents, supporting them, thinking,
oh my God,
this poor girl, she survived, yes, and their son and the other boy died. And then they're like, what the fuck? And the whole narrative turned. It was like...
Oh, it's like that the Skylar Nice case where they were like, these girls are like our daughters, blah, blah, blah. And then they ended up being the ones that killed her.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. And then you get really frustrated every time you hear that she's talking to her mum and she's bored in jail.
Oh, and they're fucking gibberish. And when am I going to get my iPad?
And
grow up.
And I'm in here in not right and all that.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
I don't think there's any other. If you see that documentary, it's like there's too many other.
It's like it's just the classic. You do the crime, you do the time.
But there's still a lot of people that are appealing, going, "Oh, she didn't do it. She wasn't guilty.
Fuck off.
She was. She had a medical incident. She this.
They
Mum
can
and Dad
test for
supposedly
that.
have got proof that that's not what happened. It's like, well,
Christ.
when you're going to court to keep her out of jail, that's when you probably should have produced your proof.
Yeah, you should have brought that up. And if there's new evidence, that's when you can get an appeal or a new trial. So obviously,
she tried
it's
to get
not
an appeal.
enough.
At the end, to come up with the writing saying she appealed, tried to get a new appeal or whatever. It was denied.
Yeah.
And the next time she can do something is 2037.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I remember listening to, I think Red Handed covered it maybe like a couple of years ago. And I remember listening to it on a podcast.
She was 16 and she was so in love with her
boyfriend
boyfriend that mum and dad were quite happy for her to move out and live with this 20-year-old boy.
They were probably sick of her.
He was scared shit of her. He filmed and sent stuff to his like sister and that of stuff where he's recording her trying to break into his own bathroom.
Yeah.
And just shit like the how
is that the one that got into his house through like the doggy door?
They didn't. I don't recall that coming in. It was just one he recorded that. I think the sister or the dad showed saying that he's recording telling her to get out of his house. And other ones she's like, open the door. We're through. Blah, 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 I'm going to kill you and all this shit. And he's like, I'm not opening the door while you're like crazy. This. And everyone's like, oh, they're so in love. All the other
fucking Jesus.
It's like,
Christ.
well, that's not what he's showing to people. And it was worth the watch. Like I watched the whole thing. Like most of those sort of things, I sort of start and go, oh, fuck off. But this one, I kind of watched it. So you can thank what's his name, Josh Wolf for that. Thanks, Josh.
Well, welcome to Mainly Murder with Meg and Mum.
Friend of the show, Josh Wolf.
I'm Meg.
I'm Josh Wolf's friend, Mum.
Josh Wolf's friend. But even like that,
he's going to get a restraining order. We'll get an email going. Yeah, please stop saying my name.
And David Attenborough. I'll get one on David Attenborough. But it's like that. There was when he said like, they could tell who they accelerated and like, she had a medical episode. Like you can prove that. It's like Robert Farquharson that killed his 3 sons.
Yes, in Werribee.
Yeah. Oh, I had a coughing fit, and they're like, "There's nothing fucking wrong with you."
Yeah.
Oh, and there was like something with like in the past that he apparently had the coughing fit. There was a tree that he managed to avoid,
get around, and
a gate, and it's
and
just
no
like
breaking.
It's provable.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiots.
That's what this. Because when this bird kept saying about the black box, I go, I didn't know cars had black boxes, and then Andrew was like, certain makes of cars have this little. And then in the show, it explained that not all cars have them, and it's called something totally different. But a lot of people
think of it as a black box.
The same as a plane.
Orange.
But and that's when they could get the 5 seconds it showed 100 miles, the build up 90, 93, 96, 100,
Jesus Christ,
and then no braking the whole fucking time. But anyway, that was quite interesting.
Anyway, back
do yourself a favour.
Episode 69.
Back to 69.
So by the early 1990s, one shocking case had completely taken over the media. It dominated headlines, flooded late-night television, and became one of the most sensationalized crime stories of the decade.
Dun, dun, dun.
But behind the tabloids and public fascination was a much darker story.
Oh.
One involving a troubled marriage, serious allegations, and a night that would permanently change 2 lives forever. And even now, decades later, the case is still remembered as one of the most infamous and talked about stories in the modern true crime history. So for episode 69, we're diving into the case of Lorena Bobbitt.
Oh, the old penis chopper.
Yeah. Oh, god damn. I was hoping you wouldn't know it.
I forgot. Are you serious?
That feels kind of like...
hell. Oh, my God. You're hoping you wouldn't know it.
The old penis chopper, yeah.
The old penis chopper.
So Lorena Gallo was born in Ecuador. There are a lot of places that have... She's got different... Like, her exact date of birth isn't really anywhere. But most of them said 1969.
I was just going to say, she'd be around my age. I would have put money on.
They either had like 1969, 1970 or October or May.
Yeah. So she's around that era. She's heading to 60.
Yeah, so she was either born in 1969 or 1970 in Ecuador and was raised in Venezuela. She was raised in a close-knit, traditional Catholic family. She was the oldest of 3 children to her mum Elvira, and her father has not been named.
Oh.
Lorena described her childhood as cheerful but a bit sheltered. When she was turning 15, her parents said, "We can either spend money and throw you a quinceañera."
How do you say it?
Quinceañera.
Always want to say that, have you?
Yeah.
Just a roll off the tongue.
It just, look, it's a very niche meme, but there was I don't know exactly what it said, but it says, "How dare you call me mentally unstable the day of my cat's quinceañera."
Oh, dear. Okay.
So it said you can have a party or
the money.
We can go on a family holiday to the United States.
Ooh.
Lorena picked the holiday and fell in love
So
with the
would
country. I know, yeah, I thought you'd vibe with that one.
Fuck yeah.
So she graduated high school, and then in 1987, when she was 18, she immigrated to the United States on a student visa to Virginia, where she enrolled in a community college. She was described as petite and seemingly shy.
Yeah, she was definitely born. Did they say she...
Just multiple sources. Wikipedia had one, the Amazon Prime videos
No,
had another.
just when you said she was 18 when they went to the
Yeah.
States. So she must have been born in 69, yeah. Well, if it was 1987 and she was 18, she was born in 69.
Simple maths could have given me that answer.
Could have. Would have saved a lot of shit at the start. All right, retake.
So eventually she met John Wayne Bobbitt. For the love of God, people need to stop naming their sons John Wayne whatever.
Yeah, but it was from the movie star, not from fucking serial killers.
I know, but Jesus Christ, so many of them turn out to be dickheads.
Well, John Wayne's name wasn't even John Wayne. It was Merrill or something like that. Keep going. I'll sort that one out for you now. Yeah, John Wayne's real name was Marion Robert Morrison.
Well, there's a few John Wayne
But
losers.
John Wayne, the actor, was a very popular from 1907 to 1979. That's why they're all named after him, the big burly cowboy.
God almighty. Well, none of them seem to be fucking like him at all. They're all idiots.
They don't have to be like him.
I know, but like you're named after someone, you turn into a dickhead.
Well, we hope Logan Paul doesn't turn out like fucking Logan Paul. Thanks very much.
I know, it's unfortunate.
You fucking named him that.
My poor
So
child.
let's just pray to God that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but, well, John Wayne was a cool cowboy and man, and they were all the opposite. So maybe him being Logan Paul,
Maybe
he's going to be the opposite.
Weenie little pricks, they call him after thinking they're going to live up to the legend of the name and man up.
Yeah.
Instead, they got whiny little bitches.
Well, yeah, John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown, who had the boys under his floorboards. Then you had John Wayne Glover, the granny killer from Sydney, who during that trivia episode you just hoped was one of the fucking answers eventually. And then you had John Wayne Bobbitt.
Oh, penny pea.
So John was born on the 23rd of March 1967 in Buffalo, New York, to Wayne and Mary Bobbitt. He was raised by his aunt and uncle after his dad ditched the family and his mum struggled to raise 3 boys alone. He struggled with school, so dropped out and decided to join the Marines. In 1988, at the age of 21, he was stationed at the Quantico Marine Base in Virginia. He was described as a strikingly handsome former Marine who could have graced recruiting posters in post offices around the US.
Oh, special.
So one night, Lorena and John were at the same dance club on a night out. John apparently saw Lorena from across the club and was immediately struck by her beauty, and so he went and asked her to dance with him.
Yo, you want to dance?
Sure, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how they fucking said it. Loser. Lorena was also struck by John. She later said, "I thought John was very handsome. Blue eyes, man in uniform, you know. He was almost like a symbol. I wanted my American dream."
A bit of Richard Gere, was he?
Yeah. Not sure what you're referencing. What are you referencing? Pretty Woman? I don't know what else he's in. Oh, she's gone.
You're a fucking loser. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. That is,
yeah, that one.
I can't think of the name of the movie now. I've gone blank. But he with an officer and a gentleman.
Oh, sure.
And he sweeps in at the end and he's wearing his naval kit and he picks her up from the factory workshop and out the door.
I haven't seen it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God. You're like, no idea what you're talking about.
I was going to glance over and then I was like, I have no idea.
Okay, so you got to watch Officer and a Gentleman. Yeah, Richard Gere when he was young, like when he was like early 20s.
He's the one from Pretty Woman?
Yes.
Okay.
But a lot younger version.
Anyway, so
oh my God,
before meeting John, Lorena had little dating experience. When she grew up, if you went on a date, you had to have a chaperone, no sex before marriage, and very rarely getting a divorce. 9 months later, on the 18th of June 1989, Lorena and John were married. Within weeks of their wedding, John's mask started to slip.
Uh-oh.
He was controlling, verbally abusive, and volatile, which seemed to become worse when he had a drink, which was pretty often. They had also just moved into their small apartment when John decided for the couple that his cousin would be staying with them for a little while.
Oh, piss off.
Yeah. Being young.
How's it go?
Yeah. John no.
The cousin.
Being young, newly married, and had lived a pretty sheltered life before moving to the United States, she wasn't thrilled about John's cousin staying with them, but John made the decision anyway. It was his way or the highway, and Lorena quickly learned that her opinion didn't carry much weight in the marriage. John already had a drinking habit, and when his cousin moved in, it gave him a built-in drinking buddy. The two would often spend time drinking, clubbing, and going to parties, while Lorena was left on the sideline. Just a month after their wedding, Lorena got a glimpse of a side of John that she hadn't seen before.
Jesus Christ. It was a rude awakening early, wasn't it?
Yeah. They'd probably been together for like a year. It wasn't like
Yeah, but they weren't living together, and
no, it wouldn't have been.
So you can put on an act for a couple of hours when you're out with someone, but 24/7, you can't put on that act all the time.
One night, John, Lorena, and his cousin were in the car after John had been drinking. According to Lorena, he was speeding, weaving in and out of traffic, blaring the horn, and driving recklessly. Fearing that they were going to get hurt, she told him to stop driving like an idiot. Instead of slowing down, John turned his anger towards her and struck her.
Shit.
It was the first time he had ever hit her, but it would not be the last. Unfortunately, the ordeal wasn't over once they got home. Lorena later said that John continued the assault, pulling her hair, slapping her, and kicking her, just weeks into what was supposed to be a happy new marriage. John told a different story.
Oh, okay.
According to him, the argument began after a night out when they were unable to get into a club that Lorena wanted to visit. John claimed that Lorena became upset and attacked him, portraying himself as the victim in the confrontation. It was a complete contrast to Lorena's account, setting up a pattern that would emerge again and again throughout their marriage. Two very different stories about what was happening behind closed doors. Fights would continue, and the next big one was in December. The couple argued over whether to buy a real Christmas tree, but according to Lorena, the disagreement escalated dramatically and John became so enraged he beat her. Lorena felt trapped.
So, like, not judging her or anything, but if you were with someone that you knew went off their fucking tits at nothing, why would you fight over something as minor as a fucking tree? Wouldn't you be just like, just get the fucking plastic tree or get the real tree, just to say, if, know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not hanging shit on her. I'm not saying she should have whatever, but would you just go, fuck it, it's not worth it?
It could have been something as simple as like, oh, should we get a real tree this year? And it could have been like, no, we need a plastic one. Like, it could have been something as simple as that.
Yeah, I suppose. But like I said, why would you argue with a fuckwit that you already know is going to go off their tits? Wouldn't you just go, all right, yep, sure.
Sure, plastic tree.
Yeah.
Real tree, whatever one he
survive,
wanted.
Literally, which is what it sounds like she was doing from week 4 of the
fucking
marriage.
just survival mode.
Yeah, which is sad. Sad way to live.
So Lorena felt trapped. She was living in a country that wasn't her own, far away from the family and friends she'd grown up with in Venezuela. Her support network was thousands of kilometers away, and financially, she wasn't earning much money. Leaving the marriage wasn't as simple as packing a bag and walking out the door.
Never is.
Isolated, dependent, and with few people nearby to turn to, Lorena found herself in an incredibly difficult position. Another thing to remember is how Lorena was raised. She came from a traditional background where divorce wasn't really seen as an option.
Mm-hmm. Marriage
was something you worked through no matter how difficult things became. It takes an average of 7 attempts for a victim to leave an abusive relationship permanently.
Really?
This is
So hang on, someone puts up with this shit at least 7 times before they go,
they try to
leave. To do something. They try to leave 7 times.
Yeah. And the statistic is frequently cited by domestic violence organizations and advocates in the United States.
Hang on. So someone tries to leave 7 times before they're
successfully.
Wow.
Leaving is often the most dangerous time in an abusive relationship. Research and advocacy organizations note that the risk of violence frequently increases when a victim tries to leave or is just left. About 1 in 4 women in the US will experience intimate partner violence during their lifetime.
Bloody hell.
In the spring of 1990, 21-year-old Lorena discovered that she was pregnant. Excited by the news, she looked forward to telling John and beginning what she hoped would be the next chapter of their lives together. According to Lorena, John's reaction was not what she expected. She alleged that instead of celebrating, he became angry, verbally abusive, and told her that she would make a terrible mother.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, husband of the year, like last week's. Lorena later claimed that John gave her an ultimatum. She could keep the baby or she could keep her husband, but not both. Faced with that choice, Lorena ultimately chose to terminate her pregnancy. It was a decision that stayed with her for years and one she later described as deeply painful. For someone who had always dreamed of becoming a mother, the experience was devastating. Lorena said that John's behavior during the abortion only added to her distress.
Jesus.
According to her, while preparing to undergo the procedure, John made jokes about the size of the needle being used.
Oh.
And even remarked that she might die during the operation.
Oh my God.
Rather than offering comfort or support during what was already an emotionally difficult experience, Lorena claimed that he treated the situation as a joke. Over the next couple of years, a trail of evidence began to build throughout repeated calls to the police and domestic violence reports.
From her?
Records show that both John and Lorena made allegations of abuse against one another, resulting in more than a dozen domestic violence complaints being documented.
Okay, so he was calling the police too. So
yeah, I don't know if it was like a straight after hers. Yeah.
Yeah, or if it was that she was doing as much to him as he was doing her.
Yeah. Who knows?
Well, only the people under that roof.
The couple's relationship had become increasingly volatile, with arguments frequently escalating to the point where law enforcement became involved. Financially, the couple were on very different paths. Lorena worked steadily as a manicurist at a local salon, earning around $17,000 a year. It wasn't a huge income, but it was consistent and helped keep the house afloat. John, on the other hand, struggled to maintain stable employment. Over the course of their marriage, he reportedly worked around 19 different jobs.
Oh, God.
Frequently changing positions or leaving employment altogether. The constant job changes created ongoing financial stress for the couple and added another layer of tension to an already troubled relationship. It is impossible to know exactly what was going on in John's mind, but some have wondered whether the situation bruised his ego. He was a former Marine who often projected a tough macho image, while Lorena, earning a relatively modest income as a manicurist, was frequently the one providing the household's most stable source of income. It also didn't help that John was reportedly a reckless spender. According to Lorena, he would make large purchases without discussing them with her first, and seemed unconcerned when she pointed out that they simply could not afford them. For Lorena, it was another source of frustration.
Would be.
Another source of frustration. While she was trying to keep the couple's financial... Fuck.
Put your teeth in, Megan. Get them out, shake them around, put them back in.
While she was trying to keep the couple financially stable, John was allegedly making expensive decisions without considering the impact on their already strained finances. Lorena later alleged that many of their arguments ended with John forcing her to have sex against her will.
Ugh.
She described a pattern in which physical and emotional abuse would be followed by sexual violence. John, however, consistently denied being an abuser. He maintained that he never hit Lorena except in self-defense and claimed that any physical force he used was to protect himself after she attacked him first. As with many aspects of the relationship, the two told dramatically different stories. Lorena was a petite woman, while John was a former Marine.
John,
Yeah,
but she could have been a little fiery chihuahua. Like,
yeah.
You can't just disregard just because based on, he was big, she was
size,
little.
yeah.
That doesn't mean anything sometimes. You get enough anger in you. Oh.
John has also denied Lorena's allegation that he raped her. However, those denials were later contrasted by statements from some people who knew him. Several of John's...
What? And then he went away and went, guess what I did last night? Rape my wife. What? How does...
High fives all around!
How the fuck does that... Unless you're in that fucking bedroom or house or wherever it was, how can anyone else comment on on that?
Several of John's friends claimed that he had made disturbing comments about sex, including remarks about enjoying forced sex and he loved to watch women squirm. That's just a gross statement.
Oh, yeah, he sounds like a cock, but it's like you can't say, oh, friends and that confirm that.
Yeah, no one 100% knows.
Yeah, exactly. Just playing the devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's worth a pinch of shit, but still, at this point, you've got 50% of the stuff is saying she did this, she did that, and then you got the other half saying he did, she did. Like, at this point, there's no, it's all her, it's all him.
Yeah. For much of US history, marital rape was not considered a crime. The legal system followed an old English common law doctrine that a wife gave permanent consent to sex when she was married, meaning a husband
fuck right off.
could not be prosecuted for raping his wife.
That's bullshit.
In 1975, South Dakota became the first state to remove the marital rape exemption.
Good.
Throughout the 1970s and 80s, other states gradually changed their law, and by 1993, marital rape was technically illegal in all 50 states, making North Carolina the last state to abolish its marital rape exemption. 1993.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Oh,
she says.
ugh.
She wasn't born till 96, but
Exactly, that's how recent it was.
I know.
33 years ago, you could rape your wife.
She did the maths then, people.
It's easy when I'm 30 and I just have to plus 3. 33 years ago, they were like, you married him.
Yeah.
You have to get
You
fucked
have to
by
have
him.
sex whenever he wants. Fuck right off.
Oh, I would do the same as what she did.
Yep. So would a lot of women would like to.
So as the marriage continued to deteriorate, John's infidelity became another major source of pain for Lorena. According to her, he was openly unfaithful and showed little concern for hiding it. In one particularly humiliating allegation, Lorena claimed that John asked her for money for petrol so he could drive to meet his mistress.
Oh, fuck off, idiot. Take the bus.
Get a bus.
Yeah,
Walk,
here's a
John.
bus token. There's your Mikey. Off you fucking go. Go and show your new girlfriend how cool you are.
Ride your bike.
I just got off the 814 bus. Here I am. Drop your decks. Let's go.
As the couple's financial problems worsened, Lorena became increasingly desperate to bring in extra income. According to reports, she began taking supplies from the salon where she worked so that she could perform manicures from home and earn additional money on the side. Unfortunately, the extra income from doing manicures at home wasn't enough to solve the couple's financial problems. Lorena then began taking money from the salon by overcharging customers for services and keeping the difference for herself.
Oh, wow.
In October 1991, John decided he wanted to leave Lorena.
Oh, good.
Apparently drawing the line at theft. That's where he finally found...
Seriously?
That's where he found his moral compass.
We can beat the fuck out of each other. I can rape you. I can go and cheat with other women. But you fucking steal.
You stole?
That's it. God, wish you knew that from the start.
Yeah.
Should have gone, fuck it, I'm going to go steal a car.
Now, to be clear, stealing was Lorena's choice and she was responsible for that. Mm-hmm. But you can see why some people look at the situation and ask a pretty obvious question. If the finances are so bad, why didn't John get a stable job?
Yep, exactly.
Maybe the former Marine who went through 19 jobs during the marriage could have contributed a little more financial stability to the household. Lorena was the one constantly showing up to work, trying to keep the bills paid, while the couple's money problems just kept getting worse. Does that justify what she did? No. But when John decided he couldn't be married to a thief, some people... It's fucking ridiculous.
That is fucking gold.
Some people might reasonably ask whether keeping the lights on would have been a more productive contribution than cycling through job number 20. Lorena eventually made amends with her employer and worked to repay the money she had taken from the salon.
Seriously?
They become really close. The salon.
I was going to say, she must either have been a really good worker and they could see that she was desperate because not a lot of places would put up with you fucking stealing money.
The dude reportedly...
we didn't at work. Person got the ass straight away. Anyway, what's the story for another day?
We'll discuss that later. The two had reportedly been close before the thefts came to light, and their ability to reconcile suggested that there may have been an understanding of the difficult circumstances Lorena was facing at the time. Of course, we can't exactly we can't know exactly what conversations took place between them or how much her boss knew about her personal life. Despite the abuse allegations, the financial struggles, and the constant turmoil, Lorena was still trying to make the marriage work.
Oh, seriously?
Partly because of how she was raised. She believed marriage was forever and that you didn't just walk away when things got hard.
Yes, you do.
John, on the other hand...
Fucking chuck it in, mate. Chuck that down. Just go. Run.
Seemed to have a very different approach to problem solving. While Lorena was trying to save the marriage, he was busy sticking his dick in other women.
Is that what you found when you searched it? So the story
I may have paraphrased.
And he went off sticking his dick in other women.
He was sticking his gross little dick in other women. One of these dick-sticking episodes resulted in a child.
Oh, no.
The situation became even more heartbreaking when you look at the timeline. According to Lorena, she had undergone an abortion after John had told her she had to choose between him and their marriage.
Yeah.
Then around a year later, John fathered a child with another woman.
That is a bit close for comfort.
Yeah. I mean, like, you've forced me to go through an abortion, which in the fucking 80s.
Imagine if she'd had a fucking baby. He wouldn't have stayed home and looked after it. And she would have had to take it to work, to have it sitting on her hip while she was doing people's nails.
Yeah. Despite everything that had happened, John and Lorena reconciled in April 1993 and moved into a new apartment together. For a brief moment, there may have been hope that a fresh start and a new home could help repair their relationship.
Nah.
According to Lorena, that hope didn't last long. She later alleged that it took only a short time for the same patterns to re-emerge. The verbal abuse resumed, followed by allegations of physical violence and sexual assault. This time, Lorena decided she needed proof. Fearing that no one would believe what was happening behind closed doors, she purchased a small recorder.
I'm surprised it took her that long. Like, how long since they were married did she start recording?
They only married for 4 years.
Oh, in total?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she purchased a small recorder and began secretly recording some of the arguments and abuse she said she was experiencing. According to Lorena, when John eventually discovered that what she was doing, he was furious. She alleged that he destroyed the tapes and then brutally assaulted her. If true, it was another example of a pattern often seen in abusive relationships when a victim attempts to document, expose, or seek help for the abuse. The abuser escalates in an effort to regain control.
Mm-hmm.
For Lorena, the recordings were supposed to be evidence. Instead, she claimed they became the trigger for one of the worst beatings she had endured. She was kicked in the face, the abdomen, and then sexually assaulted.
Jesus.
On the night of June 23rd, 1993, John arrived home at around 3 a.m. after spending the evening out with friends. By all accounts, he'd been drinking and was intoxicated when he returned to the apartment. According to Lorena, when she was asleep when John came home in the early hours of the morning. She later alleged that he shoved her awake, climbed on top of her, and demanded sex. Lorena said she repeatedly told him, "I don't want to have sex." He wouldn't listen to me. He wouldn't let me go. According to her account, John then ripped off her underwear, pinned her beneath his full weight, and raped her. According to Lorena, after the assault, she tried to talk to John about what had just happened. She was upset, angry, and looking for some kind of acknowledgement from him. Instead, she claimed John brushed her off, telling her he didn't care and to leave him alone. Then he rolled over and passed out. According to Lorena's account, she walked into the kitchen to get a drink of water. While she was there,
she thought, fuck it.
She picked up an 8-inch carving knife.
Well, you know.
She then returned to the bedroom where John was asleep, pulling back the sheets.
And the foreskin.
Ew! Lorena used the knife and severed his penis off.
I'll just do the sound effects.
You know, there's like, you can see the knob part that she cut off in the trial. This is a fucking fruit ninja. Do you remember that game? There's one, and in the trial, the guy's holding up the picture. It's just like the top of his dick.
Well, be fucking ask for it. If everything she's saying is true, well,
absolutely
then ask for it.
Moments later, she left the apartment, got into a car, and drove. John said
she threw it away, didn't she?
Just spoiler alert.
Well, like I said, I remember.
It's probably the only case you will actually
know the history of. Yeah.
John said that he felt a sharp pain.
Looked down. And a sore pee-pee.
Looked down and went to the other bedroom to wake up his friend Robbie, who had been staying the night.
So someone else was in the house. Didn't they hear the No.
Probs not.
She didn't get enough wind behind her.
Robbie awoke to see a completely nude John with blood on his hands.
And dick.
And he no longer had a penis.
Hey, that's a cheap operation.
Lorena, in her panic, said she realised she was still holding on to the part of John's penis she had cut off. She rolled down the window and tossed it into a field while driving.
I'm sorry, but that's
It's fucking, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Lorena stopped outside of the beauty salon where she had worked at and dumped the knife in a rubbish bin outside.
Oh, God. That was silly. Should have just gone to the police. Gone, look, this is what I've done.
She then went to her boss's home and called 911 to tell them what had happened.
Oh, good.
She told the operator what she had done and that the
penis is in the creek. So if you want to...
that the penis might be found in a roadside field on Maplewood Drive. An extensive search. Can you imagine?
All right, guys. Need a search party. What
Get
are we
the
looking for?
torches.
Bit of a dick. Come on.
Bit of a dick.
We're looking for a bit of a dick. Let's go. Good job.
An extensive search. After an extensive search, the police found the top of John's penis in the field.
Yeah, there you go.
Washed it with antiseptic.
Just picked up my... At least he would have got
It's
a blowjob.
still good.
They would have blew
Like
the
when your kid drops their dummy, you just put it in your mouth. Yeah. They packed it in saline ice and rushed it to the hospital.
Oh.
John was informed that he would
If he wanted his dick back, go to hospital.
They're looking for his dick. He's gone to the hospital. They're like, so what happened?
Yeah, they sew it back on.
John was informed that he would likely never be able to have sex again because his organs sustained such massive damage. The surgeons operated on John for more than 9 hours to reattach his penis. The procedure was a success.
Yay!
And the doctors believed that he would regain full function after a year-long recovery process.
Oh.
Well, John was getting his dick sewn back together. Lorena had been taken into custody and charged with malicious wounding.
Yeah.
An infamous quote Lorena said during her initial police interview was, "He always have orgasm and doesn't wait for me to have orgasm. He's selfish."
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. John's trial for marital sexual assault was in November 1993. There's another interesting piece of the context here. The same year John went on trial for marital sexual assault, 1993, was also the year that over 50 states had finally criminalized marital rape. For most of American history, a husband couldn't legally be charged with raping his wife. The idea that marriage itself was a permanent consent.
No.
By 1993, the laws had changed, but the public attitudes were still catching up. So when Lorena alleged that John had repeatedly raped her throughout their marriage, many people viewed those claims through a very different lens than they would have today.
That is fucking bullshit, though, isn't it? You got married, so you consent forever.
You consent to being raped.
That is bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit.
The trial took place at a moment when America was just beginning to seriously grapple with domestic violence, marital rape, and what consent looked like within a marriage. One of the most controversial aspects of John's trial was the scope of evidence the jury was allowed to hear. Rather than examining the entirety of John and Lorena's 4-year marriage, the court limited much of the evidence to the 5 days leading to the incident.
Seriously?
Yep.
So just the last 5 days, this is what's happened. Not that it's been building up for 4 years and she'd had a fucking gutful.
So this is John's trial about rape.
Sorry, I thought it was
No.
Snippety snip.
That meant the jury wasn't asked to weigh years of allegations, police reports, domestic violence complaints, infidelity, financial turmoil, and Lorena's claims of ongoing physical and sexual abuse. Instead, the focus was narrowed to what could be proven had happened immediately before the attack. Critics argued that this stripped away much of the context surrounding the relationship.
You think?
Stripped away all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Supporters of the decision maintain that a criminal trial should focus on the specific allegation being prosecuted, not every accusation made during the troubled marriage. Either way, it meant that when the jury considered the charge against John, they weren't looking at the full story. John took the stand in his own defense and firmly denied ever physically or sexually abusing Lorena. He maintained that he had never raped her and rejected the picture of their marriage that Lorena had described. However, his account of what happened on the night over the attack appeared to shift over time. Initially, John stated that he and Lorena had not had sex that night. Later, he acknowledged that they had, but it was consensual. At other points, accounts emerged suggesting that one of them had been asleep during the encounter, though there were conflicting versions about whether it was John or Lorena. Adding to the controversy was the
So while he was asleep, she was just down the end going, come on, wake up. Giving it a flick on the end so it'd wake up so she could jump on top. What if he was asleep?
Stick to a story, John.
Yeah.
Adding to the controversy was the fact that investigators found semen inside Lorena during the medical examination conducted after the incident. So there was sex that happened.
Mm-hmm.
John's trial moved remarkably quickly. The proceedings lasted just 2 days, after which the case was handed to the jury. After approximately 4 hours, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty. For John's supporters, the verdict was vindicated. For others, it raised difficult questions about whether the jury had been given enough context to fully understand the relationship and the allegations Lorena had made throughout their marriage. On the 10th of January 1994, Lorena's trial began. Interestingly, the prosecutor was Paul Ebert, who was the same attorney who had prosecuted John a few months earlier and failed to secure a conviction. Lorena's defense team pursued a very different strategy. They weren't arguing that she had cut off John's penis.
No, I think that was pretty...
It's pretty fucking obvious that happened.
Especially the fact that she rang and went, hey, guess what I've been doing earlier? You might want to check the
Here's
side
where
street.
you can find it. Yeah.
I had it in my hand and thought, what the fuck am I doing with this? Flicked it.
Your fingerprints are on it. Instead, they argued that years of alleged physical, emotional, and sexual abuse had accumulated in a brief psychotic break, leaving her unable to control her actions. Specifically, the defense relied on Virginia's insanity defense, claiming Lorena was under what is known as an irresistible impulse. In simple terms, they argued that although she understood what she was doing physically, her mental state at that moment was so overwhelmed that she was incapable of stopping herself. The defense wasn't asking the jury to decide whether the act had occurred. That much was undisputable. The question was whether Lorena was legally responsible for her actions at the moment she committed them. The prosecution countered the insanity defense with testimony from forensic psychiatrist Dr. Miller Ryan. After evaluating Lorena, Dr. Ryans testified that she showed signs of depression and emotional distress, but that was not the same thing as being legally insane. According to his testimony, Lorena was fully aware of her actions on the night of the incident and understood the nature and consequences of what she had done. In his opinion, while she may be struggling psychologically, she remained in control of her behavior and did not meet the legal standard for insanity. During her testimony, Lorena described what she said had been years of abuse throughout the marriage. She spoke about the physical violence, emotional abuse, and repeated sexual assaults that she alleged had taken place behind closed doors. Among the allegations she made was that John forced her to engage in anal sex against her will, something she said was part of a broader pattern of sexual violence and control within their relationship. The testimony had a significant impact on the courtroom. In a dramatic development, the forensic psychiatrist Dr. Miller Ryans, the same expert witness who had been called by the prosecution, asked to return to the stand after hearing Lorena's account. According to reports, he revised his earlier opinion and testified that Lorena was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. So he was literally, he looked at the case and went, nah, she's...
Yeah, but did he talk to her, like, interview
I'm not
her?
sure how he assessed her.
How do you
first.
just go, okay, I've assessed someone and yet not there. Oh, I just heard that. I'll just change my mind now. Was he for real?
The change
Did he
was
get
striking.
his license from a Kellogg's packer? What the fuck's going on there?
So earlier in the trial, Dr. Ryans had testified for the defense,
he's
the other side.
And changing.
So for the defense, it was a major moment. One of the prosecution's own expert witnesses had effectively shifted his position after hearing Lorena describe what she had said she'd endured throughout the marriage. The stakes for Lorena were high. If convicted of malicious wounding, she faced up to 20 years in prison. Unlike John's trial, which lasted 2 days, Lorena's trial stretched over 8, as jurors heard testimony about the marriage, the events leading up to the attack, and the competing experts' opinions regarding her mental state. After approximately 7.5 hours of deliberation, the jury reached its verdict. Not guilty by reason of temporary insanity.
Mm-hmm.
The decision meant the jury believed Lorena had committed the act. There's absolutely no way to...
Yeah, but she was pushed to her limits.
But her mental state at the time left her legally incapable of controlling her actions. Following the verdict, Lorena was committed to a psychiatric hospital for evaluation and treatment. She spent 45 days in the psychiatric ward before doctors concluded that she was not a danger to herself or the society, and she was released.
She wasn't a danger to herself or society.
No.
It was just one dick and she fucking dealt with it.
The Bobbitt case brought attention to the issue of domestic violence and marital rape. Women, anti-domestic violence advocates, and feminist groups rallied around Lorena. There were also a lot of jokes made about the whole thing. I've only put one because I did think it was funny. In season 18, episode 6 of Family Guy, the family loses their internet and Peter tells a story about how him and Lois met. And he said, well, it was the 1990s, the decade of Viagra, but also Lorena Bobbitt, so it was kind of a yay boo period for penises. That was great. Yay boo.
That is good.
John had also gone on to talk to Howard Stern.
He went on a lot of things, didn't he?
Oh, he was doing the fucking
He
media
was,
rounds.
Yeah.
Howard Stern made the comment, quote, Lorena couldn't have been sexually assaulted because she's not that great looking.
Oh, he's always been an asshole.
He's a dickhead.
He is. He's an asshole of a man. I can't believe people actually listen to him.
So, what was the aftermath for these two? For John, after his trial and his mounting medical bills, attempted to generate some money by forming a band.
Oh, he did porn at one point, didn't he?
Yeah. The band was called The Severed
Knobs.
Parts.
What?
The Severed Parts.
Oh, see, I like mine better. The knobs would have been better for him.
This ended up being a flop, so John went into porn.
Like his penis.
In September 1994, he appeared in the adult film John Wayne Bobbitt, Uncut.
And
And
then...
then-
butt cut.
In 1996, he appeared in Frankenpenis.
Oh, my God.
Also in 1994, John was charged with hitting 21-year-old exotic dancer Christina Elliott. Christina and John were engaged at the time, but after he hit her, she broke off the engagement.
Smart girl.
Also in 1994, she cut off his penis in 1993.
Yeah, well, he wasn't wasting time. He needed another cash cow that's going to earn money so he didn't have to do shit.
In August 1994, John was convicted of battery and was sentenced to 15 days in jail. On the 10th of August 1998, John appeared on WWF's Monday Night Raw. Sorry, Monday Night Raw is war. He also moved to Las Vegas and worked as a bartender, a limo driver, a mover, a pizza delivery driver, and a tow truck operator. In 1999, John received probation for a theft in Nevada. In 2003, he violated this probation after being arrested for beating his then-wife, Joanna Farrell.
God almighty.
So that really shows you, like...
Confirmed her version.
Yeah. A year later, in 2004, he was again arrested for battery against
Jesus.
Joanna the same year he filed for divorce. In 2014, John was hospitalized in the ICU after a car accident in Buffalo, New York, where he was not responsible. In 2024, John had to have his toes amputated as a result of toxic peripheral polyneuropathy.
Right. That'll get you.
He speculated this was a result...
Was this because his penis was cut off?
No. He speculated this was a result of his exposure to toxic waters at Camp Lejeune in the 1980s. Due to the amputations and developing osteomyelitis, he was unable to work.
He didn't like doing it anyway.
Yeah, this is just an excuse now.
I was going to say, at least he had a legit reason this time.
It is possible to get toxioperipheral polyneuropathy from camp water, but it would depend on what was in the water and how much exposure occurred and for how long. It was a fucking summer camp. You're not going to be... Most toxoperiphallopanadesev develop after prolonged or significant exposure to a nerve-damaging toxin. Contaminated campground water could possibly caused it if it contains substances such as heavy metals like arsenic, lead, mercury, or thallium, certain industrial chemicals, some pesticides or herbicides, or other environmental toxins. Common causes for getting it could be industrial cleaners or solvents, exposure to certain toxins in the workplace environment, some illicit drugs or contaminated substances, but the most common is alcohol misuse.
Oh, couldn't have been that.
No. He wasn't just like a heavy drinker all of his fucking adulthood. Anyway, so after her trial, Lorena went back to using her maiden name. In December 1997, look, it's not right, but I could see why. In December 1997, Lorena was charged with assault after punching her mum when they watched TV.
Punching her mum?
She punched her mum. Today, Lorena Bobbitt is known by her maiden name, Lorena Gallo. Far removed from the media circus that once consumed her life, she lives in the Washington, D.C. area with her longtime partner and their daughter. Rather than remaining defined by the events of June 1993, Lorena has spent much of her life focusing on helping others. She's become an advocate for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, using a platform to raise awareness about the realities of abuse and the challenges victims face when trying to be heard. For years, the world treated Lorena as a punchline to a joke. But behind the headlines was a woman whose story sparked conversations about domestic violence, marital rape, trauma, and how society responds to those who come forward with allegations of abuse. Lorena's
advocacy
eventually grew into something much larger. She founded the Lorena Gallo Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. It was originally known as Lorena's Red Wagon, and the foundation focuses on expanding prevention education, counseling services, and access to emergency resources for those experiencing abuse. For Lorena, the mission is deeply personal. Drawing on her own experiences, she has worked to help survivors find the support, safety, and resources that she says were often difficult to access when she was living through abuse herself. In addition to her foundation work, Lorena has become a regular public speaker and educator. She frequently speaks at law schools, colleges, community organizations, and women's centers, sharing her experience and advocating for stronger protections for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Through these talks, she works to help people recognize the warning signs of abusive relationships, understanding the barriers that often prevent victims from leaving, and encouraging conversations about prevention and support. Lorena has also used these opportunities to push for stronger legal protections for survivors, arguing that abuse is often far more complex than what is visible from the outside. Her message is that early intervention, education, and access to resources can make a significant difference in helping victims find safety before violence escalates. And that is Lorena Bobbitt.
Oh, snippity snip.
Old snip, snap, penis in a trap. No. Field. Whack, wheeled, penis in a field.
Penis out the window.
Imagine being in such a fucking frantic state that you're like, check my windows to a penis. Phone keys, vape, penis.
Oh my God. She's lucky she didn't feed it to a dog or something, really. She could have easily just gone, here, throw it in the dog food.
Or just throw it out the window and
throw it into the
raccoon
ocean.
got it.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if an animal had gone.
Could you imagine being the police officer? Watch your step, boys. You're going to squish the dick.
Oh, God almighty.
No. Well, that was episode 69. I think it was a pretty fitting episode.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
The old dick cutter.
The old dickety dick, snip, snip.
It is a funny story, but yeah.
Well, not for her.
Not for her.
Especially
the ha-ha he got
his
at the end. Fuck that guy. I think the whole time, as you said, it could have been 50-50, he said, she said, but then it's like...
When he's repeated...
And then he's abused this chick, and he's beaten his wife, and he's been arrested again multiple times for battering a woman. Yeah. It really confirms that...
It sort of moves back in her favour, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You can see why they didn't just charge her as guilty as, no, you deliberately blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
It's like, no, you're on your last fucking straw. You're on your last... nerve.
Yeah, that was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back, and
exactly.
Yep. No, fair enough. Fuck him. I think a lot of women in their life have wanted to cut a
it.
man's dick off.
That or their throat, one or the other.
Well, one end or the other, yeah, exactly. high or low, you pick. Anyway.
Anywho.
Thank you for
see
listening.
See you next Tuesday.
There's a whole thing in the middle.
She's got a whole lot of shit to say.
Buy us a coffee, buy us a Pepsi, blah, blah, blah.
Buy us a Pepsi.
Instagram, mainly_murder. Join us on Patreon. Leave us a 5-star review. Spotify, Apple. Email us at...
Do I have to?
Yes, it's the only fucking thing you do.
Hey, I sit here and I get angry most of the time, except for these stories. This one was a good one.
Yeah.
I like these good ones. It's ones with kids and old people. That
I thought I'd give you a little bit of levity before I bring you back down again next week.
Get me fucking anger flowing. Bloody kid stories and old people disgust me.
Yeah.
Anyway, send us an email. An email at Gmail. Shut up, asshole. Hey?
What's the email?
It's MainlyMurderPodcast at gmail.com, Megan.
Yes,
so set the fuck down. Angia.
Anyway, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Oh, not if I see you first.